Okay, well, guys, it is Sunday night. That means it's time for your WWE Week in Review. And tonight I've got somebody on that, while he's a familiar voice, we have not done a show together in 8 months, 10 months. It's been a long time. So we're here to talk about everything going on in WWE, including the brilliant Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns match on SmackDown, and who could be the one to finally take the championship off of Roman Reigns. The answer is somebody that's currently on the SmackDown roster. Zach gives his thoughts on that, and we dive deep into that, as well as, of course, going over everything on Monday Night Raw. So let's get everything going right after a word from our sponsor.
Welcome to the WWE Podcast, your number one source for the latest in WWE news and straightforward analysis. Are you ready to get this thing going?
Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
Then let's get this show started right now.
Well, guys, it is time for your Week in Review. Zach Smith of the NXT Podcast will be joining me very shortly to talk about everything this week in WWE, with Raw and SmackDown anyway. So much to get to, and we'll get to all of it in just a minute. But first, I got to give a shout out to our newest patron over there on patreon.com/WWE podcast, Derek Manton. Pretty sure I got that right. Derek, thank you so much for becoming a patron of the show. Really much appreciated. And get yourself ad-free completely. All those ads that everyone else is hearing on the free feed, you get to hear it without ads, and you paid it for $1 a month. Yes, there are other tiers, and you have other benefits as you go up in price and tier, but $1 a month gets you to where Derek is, where you don't have to listen to any of these ads, and that is a good thing, I think. I mean, I'm a patron myself on other shows, and I get it. No ads is a very cool thing to do. So head on over to patreon.com/WWE podcast, or just search out the WWE Podcast on your Patreon app and get yourself there. And by the way, guys, I know I plug this every time, but I do want to let you know, right? We're going to get to the content in a minute, but we have now a lot of exclusive podcasts are going to be going to Patreon. They won't be here on the free feed, meaning we have our wrestling nostalgia, of course, is going to be exclusive to Patreon. We had a couple of exclusive podcasts go there from Mimi, and there will be also one going between Anthony DeMarco and myself that we're doing on Saturdays, dropping there. Usually Saturdays, we'll see how our schedules work, but at least once a week where we do our What If show. And that's exclusive to Patreon as well. So that will not be available here on the free feed. If you want more of the WWE Podcast and shows that you don't get to hear on the free feed that you're listening to right now, if you are, then head on over to Patreon, get yourself signed up. And you also get a shout out on the show, as you heard at the beginning. You get a lot of other cool stuff too. So check it out. I don't need to tell you all the details about it. This isn't an infomercial, but I want to let you know about exclusive shows that are coming there, because that's why you listen, as audio content, right? So, all right. With all that said, to get you guys into gear here, a lot is going on in WWE, and Zach and I break down a lot of, yes, we do some what ifs and we do some fantasy booking, but I think intelligent fantasy booking, easy for me to say. And it's a lot of, well, number one, who could be the one to take it off Roman Reigns? Who's going to be the one to take that Universal Championship off of Roman Reigns? Zach Smith provides a very compelling case as to who that person could be, and it's a current member of the SmackDown roster. It's not somebody fantasy booking wise that could come back and win. It's not somebody mythical that's going to rise from the dead, okay? It is somebody currently breathing and living on the SmackDown roster. So I think it's a very compelling case and a very likely case, honestly. So we break that down. So beyond that, of course, we have Raw that we analyze, and Charlotte Flair and what they've done with The Miz, and whether or not we believe The Miz is a Hall of Fame career. Really just a very fun conversation with Zach, and he does kind of stick it to me a few times. But hey, I hold my own, I think. I think I do a decent job of that. I've been doing this long enough. If I didn't, I wouldn't be a very good podcast host. So we spar a little bit, but that's what keeps things fun. So, all right, that's it for the intro, guys. I will be back on Tuesday with your Raw review. And then, of course, Wednesday, Nostalgia, exclusive to Patreon. The mailbag will be here, though. So get your questions in. I mean, I want you guys to have a voice. If you're new and you want to get on the mailbag, email us at realwwepodcast@gmail.com with your questions or comments on anything going on in WWE. Or if you want to just call us, it's easier. Number one, you can send a voicemail through the email just as an attachment. Or number two, you can call us and leave a voicemail in our actual voice box that we have set up, which is 518-952-0247. So how about that? Get yourself on the mailbag. It's always a fun show to hear from our regulars and new voices. So, okay, that's enough for me. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Enjoy Zach and myself for 2 hours talking this week in WWE. Until then, I'll talk to you next time. Well, it is that time of week again, and we've got a host that has not been with us in quite some time, but a very familiar voice. He is your host of the NXT review show, weekly review show here on the WWE podcast. Zach Smith is back here with me live. I would say in studio because it just sounds cool, so I'll say it anyway. In studio, Zach Smith is back with me to discuss everything that happened this week on Raw and SmackDown. How you doing, man?
Buddy, I am really good. I'm on the same wavelength. I'm closing my eyes and I'm pretending that we are in a studio, even though I don't know exactly what you look like. So I'm picturing you as the podcast logo in the studio with me. I'm very excited to be here. You and I talked right before and realized that we think the last time we did this was Extreme Rules Horror Show, which is much longer than we intended for that break to be. As I recall, we didn't get into a fight or anything, but you and I should have at least sold it like we did or something, drum up some interest.
Maybe we should just come up with something because it does, right. Maybe I'll just have something out there to cause some clickbait, and that way people think there's some kind of strife going on our team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's create something. I think that's a good idea. So, maybe I'm just still angry about the last year WrestleMania double team with you and Mary. I don't know.
See, I knew it. I knew it immediately that that's what it was and that you were still holding that. And I thought that I want to bring it back up, but here we are.
Well, there you go. Open up old wounds. Nothing like it. So, all right. Well, I do have just a ton to talk about, as you know, and we are 2 weeks away from, again, corporately named WrestleMania Backlash here on the WWE podcast. I'm going to, and you can do what you like, Zach, I'm calling it Backlash because I just refuse to add these silly taglines and string out names for pay-per-views that don't need to be. So with Backlash on its way in just a couple of weeks, I got to ask, before I get into details, how are you viewing the WWE product right now? Are you feeling up, down, in the middle? What is your overall feel for the product?
Man, I think I'm feeling okay because I host the NXT show here on the WWE Podcast Network. So I get to see what is anyway my favorite wrestling show, and I also get to watch SmackDown. So 2 out of the 3 shows are good to great on a week-to-week basis. Raw has been hard to watch, but that's been the thing for a while now. At the very least, it gives us stuff to make fun of, which we can make an episode about that just as easily as the greatest matches ever. So I feel okay about it because my standards for WWE in terms of the product that I watch are not super high, except when it comes to NXT. So I haven't really been terribly disappointed.
No, I guess if I'm going to answer my own question back, I'm with you that, again, and that's funny that because I don't have time to watch NXT. I catch highlights, I see kind of what's going on, and so maybe my view is a little bit more skewed because I don't have that higher bar of NXT that I look to on a weekly basis. That I guess I'm viewing the product a little bit more positively. But That doesn't mean that I don't see its flaws and its massive flaws right now because there's so much really bad stuff, but there's also really, really good stuff. Exactly. And so it does kind of even itself out. But I'll start with something that really was just outstanding this week. SmackDown. The main event of SmackDown of Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. The stipulation was if Daniel Bryan loses, he's gone from SmackDown. We got to pay attention to the language there because I think it's important that they didn't say the WWE. They didn't say he's fired. They didn't say he's gone. They said he's gone from SmackDown. That leaves Raw open. NXT is probably not a real option. So, yes. So people need to pay attention to that, and maybe during the draft later this year he'll return. We'll have to see what happens there, or maybe they'll just announce he's on Raw in like a month. Who knows? So that I want to start there. I'll toss it to you for what you thought about this main event.
The main event was fantastic. It was one of the probably couple things I was most excited to talk with you about here for a few reasons. It's Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, who doesn't get enough credit for how good he is even now in the ring. And they put on a great match. One of my favorite things about this version of Roman Reigns is that he can tell interesting stories in the ring. My favorite match of his before this heel turn started was that Money in the Bank match versus Seth Rollins. And not only because it was very exciting, but he turned into the de facto bad guy in that match and acted as such. And because he did that, and Seth Rollins was obviously the good guy, they were able to tell a really good story. And there's a lot of history with him and Daniel Bryan dating back to 2015 that they played off of, and now it's two completely different characters. They put on a fantastic main event that told a story. I know that hits all the good points for you. It does for me too, and you can't really ask for a better main event. We're still building Roman Reigns. He's not even close to somebody beating him yet. But this is good. You need to keep feeding him good guys and believable ones and build them up. And there's nobody better to do that with than Daniel Bryan, a guy that I'm so sure does not care about being Universal Champion, but he can make you believe he is. I loved it. It's your turn to gush about it.
This is pay-per-view quality, and in some cases better than pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Some pay-per-view matches. They promoted it better than a lot of pay-per-view matches. They brought in a lot of Daniel Bryan's history from WrestleMania 30. They haven't really, which I'm surprised throughout the entire program that Bryan had, and yes, Edge got in the mix. I'm surprised that they didn't pull in that 2014, 2015 tie-in of their history. Like, it doesn't seem that they really did it. It almost was as if they were meeting for the first time, which I think maybe was a missed opportunity to tie in that history and show people, remind people. But they didn't, and that's okay because they work so well together. And we didn't also mention Roman Reigns' new music. What did you think of Roman Reigns' new music?
I like it. He said that he was waiting for something big before he changed his music. And I thought we were going to get it at WrestleMania. I don't know if they finally just made the decision to change it, but that was the last thing of Roman Reigns from the Shield. Part of the reason people didn't like him is because he's the only guy that didn't change. He came out to the same music. He had the same vest. He had the same look on his face. And now he's a completely different character. It makes sense that he would have different music. And it makes sense character-wise that character would say, I need this new music. So I liked it a lot. And I liked that they finally changed it. His old music didn't bother me, but I also felt like it didn't fit him anymore. I feel like this fits him better.
That's a great way of putting it, that he outgrew his old music. And it felt like he had for some time. And I think that perhaps they had an idea they were going to change his music and they wanted to do it correctly. And that is great. If that's the case and they didn't just want to change it. Oh, he's a bad guy. Let's get him new music immediately. Sometimes that happens and that's fine. But all the other times it takes some time to do. I mean, even Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, biggest 100%. Babyface of all time, had his Disturbed remix.
Love that remix.
Yeah, it's a much more edgy, badass
and
version.
Paranoid.
Yes, Paranoid. Yes, and those of you that don't know, I'm sure you do. You just go back and listen to his theme song from 01 to 02. Great stuff. But
hey, Matt, real quick. I'm going to take us down one quick side road here.
Go ahead.
Seth Rollins, Messiah music or Burn It Down?
Well, he's got a combo with it now, doesn't he?
I know, but
if I have to pick one,
you have to pick one, Matt.
Well, here's the problem with, and I'll pick one. I'm not going to cop out, but my problem with this is I'm trying to detach the character I'm associating with that music.
That's true.
Because I really like the Burn It Down, but I hated the baby face Seth Rollins because it never felt right. But I also really, I was kind of neutral about the Seth Rollins Messiah gimmick, or the music, but also I felt really good about his character.
Sure.
So, I like the Burn It Down. It's more energetic. Sure. But if I was going to take it side by side and forget that the characters existed and I was just looking at the music, I'd say the Burn It Down.
You have to come out to one of these, and it's going to be reset. It was never Seth's. It was yours.
Mine.
Yours.
Okay. Burn It Down.
Wow.
Yeah. Only because here's the thing. I know a lot of people didn't hated. People tell me they hated Seth Rollins' Messiah gimmick music. Yeah. I think I'm not as high on it only because the failure for them to successfully implement that character, which I thought was a missed opportunity, between who was with him at the very beginning, that the tag team that got injured and then they left.
God. AOP.
Yeah. They were awesome together, and I said this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to Seth Rollins and AOP. They get injured, they go away, and then he had no disciples. How are you a Messiah with no disciples? It's like King Corbin. How are you a king with no followers, no subjects? It just kills the gimmick. So I think their mismanagement of the character dampened my perspective of the music, even though I don't hate the music. So yeah, that's my thought. What about you? Would you pick the Messiah?
Here's the thing, Matt. And I know it's part of the reason I brought it up is because people hated that Messiah music. And I know this is usually your lane, but I'm going to do an unpopular, controversial opinion here.
Go for it.
If you love that Burn It Down music, it's because you associate it with good memories and it's been around longer. Here's the thing: the Messiah music, the Messiah music bumps, it bangs, it's way better. It's a million times better than Burn It Down. I don't particularly even care what his character is. It's the Messiah music's better. It's always been fantastic. The only reason you like Burn It Down better is because you liked yelling "Burn It Down."
Yeah, that's true. If we take out Burn It Down out of that song,
kind of generic and boring, isn't it?
So I was going to say, now that I'm thinking of it, because we hear Burn It Down, and then it goes to the most generic wrestling music that has ever existed. Yeah. I hear you, and it is a nostalgic feel because Seth Rollins, the heist of the century, he was part of the Authority. Like all of those memories. I mean, yeah. It could be a lot of nostalgia, and they see that's why I'm so dampened on the Messiah music is because the mismanagement of it. So
it is mismanaged, but it is very important that I make clear that Burn It Down is nostalgic. Matt was wrong again. It's a theme, and when we're together, it's why he doesn't have me on very much. Well, anyway, main event SmackDown was fantastic.
Nice transition. Yeah, we'll pretend that didn't happen.
We're professional.
Oh gosh, gotta love opinions and facts. Oh god. Okay, so let's continue on here as the rumors are going to heat up about our relationship. Let's move. So Reigns, again, putting a closing thought on this. I could rant about this in a good way for like an hour on how good this match was because it was that good. And if this is the last time that we're seeing Daniel Bryan for a while, which I think it is, I guess his contract is up, or I don't know what the case may be, but yeah. I think it's fine if he takes some time off and finds himself back on Raw. I think that's what's eventually going to happen. What do you think?
I agree. I think it is 100% fine if he takes some time off. Obviously, neither of us know him, so we don't know. But it does seem to me like he might be a little bit burnt out at the moment, which is completely understandable. But he has wrestling in his blood, to use an old cliche. And if you think about it, he's been on SmackDown forever. He was on SmackDown for this run. He was the general manager when he got hurt, and before his return match. He's been working with roughly the same people. And now he's getting to work with a Cesaro, and he's getting to work with Roman. But at a certain point, sometimes what you need for burnout, which I know is a dirty word in the WWE, but a very real thing, is you need to take time away and or you need a change of scenery. So I would be fine if he takes time off, however long he wants or needs, and then comes back to Raw for just seeing him on a fresh set. It's so silly because Raw and SmackDown look different, but it does feel different seeing somebody with the red ropes versus the blue ropes. Freshen him up, give him new stuff to do, let him work with different guys like he wants to. I have to assume that's the plan, and I hope it is.
Welcome back to the WWE Podcast. Let's get back to more great wrestling audio.
Yeah, and then maybe let his hair grow back out. I did not like the Miz wannabe hair. That was bad.
Yeah.
I love Bryan. We all do, but the hair just killed it for me.
A little bit.
Yeah, but again, it's fine. And Daniel Bryan, I know in a recent interview that he had, I think, I don't know, a month or so ago, I don't remember who it was with, maybe like Fox Sports or something, said that he's wants to figure out, he's still got to figure out what he wants to do with his life. Very telling.
Sure.
That he's looking beyond wrestling in a way that's, this was only a very small part of my life. Now I got to figure out what I want to do. That's essentially what he said. So even if he does return, I think that the days behind him are much greater than the days ahead of him in the ring. And that's fine. He's got a wife. Yeah. He's got a kid. I get it. So.
Yeah, I get it. And looking at it now, he's 39 years old. And that's not necessarily old in terms of a wrestler nowadays, but with all the miles he's put on himself and his work style from the indies to WWE to now being hurt and not changing his style that much, give the guy some time off. If he wants to come back, bring him back. He doesn't want a non-wrestling role. We tried that. Let him take that time, be with his family, and come back. I'm 100% good with that.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Daniel Bryan will always be a beloved figure, and I hope that when he does return, that it's in front of weekly live fans. I
hope so.
This is the thing. We're not blaming WWE for no fans. It's clearly nobody's fault. But I got to say, number one, hearing critically acclaimed and award-winning every week is just like so mind-numbing. I can't. The pumped-in crowd noise. They're doing the best that they can. Here's the thing. I'm complaining, but I'm also absolutely appreciative of they're doing the absolute most that they can. There's nothing more that they can do, and I absolutely understand that. That said, that doesn't change my opinions that I'm getting real tired of this real quick, and I need freaking fans, especially when you get a taste of it at WrestleMania and then they go right back. It's like they regressed.
I know. It's hard to... It's hard to go from a stadium for WrestleMania back to video screens. However, it did just occur to me, Matt, that you realize that when we're, hopefully, still doing this in like 30 years and we are like clinging to our younger co-host for relevancy, that we're going to be the guys that are like, you don't understand how it was back in the day. We watched wrestling in a warehouse in a garage with no fans. We watched a WrestleMania like that.
Yes. Oh my! People won't believe it. And I bet you even say 5-10 years from now, we're going to look back and go, "Oh my God, remember that?" It's gonna be that way, and we're we as human beings we adapt quickly, and this is going to be one of those things that once they're back in front of fans on a weekly basis, which if people were going to put me on the spot, the earliest to me would be like fall. I would think the fall on a limited basis, maybe. The problem is also the states and like where are they going to travel right now? The most open states, Texas, Florida. A lot of the southern red states. So, for better or worse, not getting into politics, it is what it is right now. But that said, I would think that they don't want to just make a circle going into the same states, into the same places, whatever. I would think that they want to go back to any place that they want, even if it's like 50%, 75%, or of course 100% capacity. But it's really completely out of WWE's hands. But man, oh man, do I miss fans on a weekly freaking basis being able to be there. It's taking the soul out of wrestling. So, God. Okay, I want to move on. Bianca Belair. Now, as you know, we all know Bianca Belair is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley has stepped up as her new contender for Backlash. And do you feel like, I guess, starting high level, how do you feel about her reign? Do you feel like she's kind of underwhelming thus far? I mean, granted, it's only been a few weeks, but how do you feel about it? I mean, I'm happy for her. I would assume you are as well. But how do you feel about it so far, given a few weeks of it?
So obviously I feel really good about her winning it. It was the correct choice. It was built up right. It felt like a big deal that Sasha and Bianca main evented night one, and that Bianca won. Even Sasha was happy.
Yep.
Right after she had lost. I actually loved that. I would almost never say that I'm disappointed in a champion for their title reign. I, however, would say in a case like this that I am potentially disappointed in how they are using that champion. So we're going to talk about Raw later, and I'm going to do a whole big old thing on The Miz. And say Roman Reigns, and I understand why these are different, versus Kofi Kingston. Now, again, I understand those are two different performers. But if you were to tell me at WrestleMania when Kofi won that WWE title how that reign was going to go, I wouldn't have believed you. And I don't think that has anything to do with Kofi. I think that's how much, or rather how many ideas they have for you. So it's very early, and this is her first title defense. Bayley makes sense for that. But she doesn't feel important because they like to remind you a lot that her husband is Montez Ford. And that's cool. I'm glad they're on the same show. But Montez Ford is presently in a tag team that he's going to end up being the Shawn Michaels of. They don't like tag teams. So she ends up in these comedy segments where rather than being Bianca Belair, the badass women's champion, she's Montez Ford's wife who happens to be the women's champion. And that's not how you make a champion feel important. They have plenty of time to fix this, and the match with Bayley is going to be really good. But in order for her to feel important and like her own person, we're going to have to back off of that a little bit.
That is, here's the thing. The connection that they're making, we all know Montez Ford is married to Bianca Belair. Like, I mean, it's extreme. Sure, it's public knowledge. And that's, like you said, that's fine that they're acknowledging it on air. But perhaps they're doing this a little too much now, where they don't need to be teaming up on a weekly basis or coming to each other's aid on a weekly basis. Again, this is where it gets hard, because as husband and wife, you should come to each other's defense, help each other. But it's also pro wrestling, and I think pro wrestling should take precedent over any kind of like, well, they're married, shouldn't they always come to each other's aid? No, because they're in separate storylines. You're going to be, I think you're handicapping one for the other, and I'm fine with it because it's only been a few weeks. Like, if this was a few months, I mean, I'd have a bigger gripe. So I understand what they're doing. She hasn't even defended her championship yet, of which it's a foregone conclusion she's going to retain. Yes. I think she'll probably keep it through all summer, maybe into the fall. I think she should have a long reign, and she's deserving. So, of course. But that said, I having them on a weekly basis is weird. Then they have this tag team match with, what was it, Ziggler and Rude, and Bianca Belair and the Street Profits, and who was with the Dirty Dogs? Who was the? Oh, God. Why can't I remember who the female component of that was? I can't. Oh, Bayley.
Yeah, it was Bayley. Jeez. I was trying to think.
Bayley.
Yeah.
So
The Dirty Dogs.
The Dirty Dogs, yeah. I mean, whatever. I'll roll with it. This is the most relevant Ziggler's been consistently for a while, so fine.
That's so sad, but
It is. And the fact that the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, by the way, weren't even on WrestleMania. I don't want to hear WrestleMania SmackDown. It's a bunch of nonsense.
Of course they weren't.
But nonetheless, the only thing I have to say about that match that took place on SmackDown that has nothing to do with WrestleMania or Backlash itself was the fact that they had a mixed tag team match. And we were told right up front that Cole said that the men will wrestle the men and the women will wrestle the women. And it's like, yeah, okay, I know. This isn't the Attitude Era. You're not going to get, any of the men hitting the women. At the same time, the finish of the match, right in front of the referee, we had Bianca Belair use her hair as a weapon.
Yes.
On, what was it, Rude. And
yes.
That caused Montez Ford from the heavens. And, the double standard here is like, I understand they're not going to do man-on-woman violence. I get it.
Of course.
It's 2021. It'd be a very bad PR move, I think. Unless you're Randy Orton, in which you can just RKO Nia Jax, in the Rumble, or RKO Beth Phoenix. Like Randy Orton seems to be, for some reason, above that law. But it's funny when he does it.
A lot of times in his career. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you look back at how many people he's RKO'd women-wise. He's done Stacy Keibler. Mm-hmm. I remember that very well. Who else did he do? Stephanie McMahon.
Did he do? Was it Mae Young?
Yes, I think he did.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Mae Young. I was going to say Lillian Garcia, but I don't think Lillian. But yeah, it's a list. He's got quite a few women. Same with Stone Cold. He even stunned Mae Young at one point.
Everybody. Yes.
Nobody was Molly Holly, Trish Stratus. Yeah. But my point is that this is not that era. While I don't think that was a bad thing, because I was laughing at that stuff and I didn't go, oh my God, I'm going to go, beat my girlfriend now. Like that's right. People are smart enough to go, this is going to influence me. No. But I understand the culture and climate we're in. They're a PG product. I get it. Circling all the way back to the match. Now, if somebody had done this to Bianca, say, we had, I don't know, Dolph Ziggler do something to Bianca that cost her the match, they would have been disqualified. Yet Bianca can do it to Rude, and yet right in front of the referee, and it's like, well, wait a minute. Cole just told me it's a mixed tag team match. How is this legal? I know it's a little thing. I get it. But it's just it's something that WWE does on a consistent basis. So anyway,
go ahead. It's one of those unwritten rules that I think it's twofold. I think in WWE rules, the same way that the partner on the apron has to hold on to the tag rope, they never mention it, but it's a rule. I think it might be an internal thing that a woman can hit a man in that circumstance, and it's not a disqualification, but a man can't do the same, or it is a disqualification. I'd be willing to bet you. Yeah. Which is that rule is weird, but I understand the second half of it. And also, I am so sure that she's allowed to hit people with her hair because it's a part of her body and not a foreign object, that it just counts that way, which is just kind of a weird unspoken WWE rule. And I don't even care about the mixed tag or Montez coming to Bianca's rescue or vice versa. I don't care about that part because that makes a lot of sense to me. The part that I care about is Bianca having a segment and them feeling like they need to include Montez Ford in it. Not because Montez Ford isn't good. Montez Ford is going to be huge. He is the Shawn Michaels of that team. So I understand getting him in there. But as soon as tag teams show up, it's going to turn into a comedy segment or be less important. So now Bianca's associated with it.
Yeah, that is the bigger problem. That the tag team division as a whole in WWE has been a problem from its inception. The tag team division. I asked this to everybody that I've spoken with over the last few months, and I said, can somebody tell me the last time that a tag team match main evented a pay-per-view, or even much less, I'll drop the standard further, a televised event? Name a tag team match, actual tag team, not one that have single stars that I don't even know.
I think very, very loosely I have it without including actual tag teams. But the last time a tag match, one was frankly featured on a pay-per-view, but main evented a show, I have to cheat to be able to do this. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch versus Baron Corbin and
Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans.
Oh my God. Did that
Don't
main event?
test my knowledge, Matt.
Did that main event though?
I think it main evented a Raw, like their skirmish, but I don't think it main evented the pay-per-view.
That's the point. Yeah. Like
you got to go back to like Jericho, Benoit, Triple H, Stone Cold for it to main event, and that was a Raw.
And well, that's the thing. That's my other point is it has to be a tag team for the sake of a tag team, not actual individual.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a true tag team, not just Stone Cold and Triple H. They're not. You know what I mean? So that's my point. And I don't know. I mean, so WWE has never made the tag team division, whether it's the men or the women, the focus of the show. And you know, I never understood why. And I guess their argument is, well, single stars make, more money. I would argue, well, yeah, they do. There's no argument about that single stars are how you reach the highest potential. But how do you think sometimes you get those single stars? By building great tag teams, which means you need to main event those tag teams to build those single stars that you're eventually going to create from splitting that team. I don't know. I'm not saying it has to happen all the time, but once in a while, I think, hey, shake it up. Throw a main event tag team match if it's going to be a championship match, especially. So,
it's hard to. It's really hard to do that because they don't care about tag teams, and more than that, they actively seem to dislike them. So it just makes it really difficult to present them in an interesting way at all, because they're never going to do that. All right, some quick research here.
Okay.
As I stalled, as I talked.
That's fine.
The last time under the parameters given that I can find that two actual tag teams faced each other in a main event capacity, I have two from 2009.
Okay.
They both featured D-Generation X, so that's the Triple H Shawn Michaels version.
Okay.
In Hell in a Cell 2009, it was DX versus Legacy. And in TLC, it's DX versus Jericho.
Oh, God.
So 12 years ago.
Okay.
Featuring the boss's son-in-law was the last time.
And, 4 Hall of Famers. I mean,
of course.
Yeah, yes, they are a true tag team, I'm not going to, fine. DX is, yes. Okay.
Listen, I had to cheat on top of cheat to find an answer to that.
Yeah.
But by God, I was going to find an answer.
The fact that we have to dig that far is becoming of the problem. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm not saying that tag teams should take over main events. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, once in a while in the right spot, do it. It's, it comes down to Vince not putting a priority on tag teams. It's been a thing with him forever.
It's been a thing with him forever, but also from a business perspective, that Montez Ford is going to be the one to break out of that. And I would be willing to bet you that they really like Montez Ford and they see a future there for him. Now, I can't tell you what the ceiling is because he can talk and wrestle, but that's not always enough. That's not the point. But what they're going to do is eventually the Street Profits are going to break up. One of them is going to turn on the other. They're going to do a program together, and nobody's going to care because they never built up this team to be anything serious. But if you were to build up some tag teams and build up the Street Profits, Now you can put them in main event segments where they talk, and now you can feature Montez Ford more, and he can have opening show promos and main event matches. That way, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley and MVP don't have to do it every week, but also you give somebody a trial run while they have a safety net as their tag team partner there. That makes more business sense to me, but they don't feel like a main event can be a tag team match, and so they're not going to do it. So they're just going to rip those two apart and just have them go off their separate ways.
And the thing is, too, right now, there is no better time for WWE to experiment than after WrestleMania.
Yep.
There is no better time of the year. You don't have to really worry about next year's WrestleMania because you can change storylines 100 times between now and next April in Dallas, which, by the way, they will have a full stadium of 80,000 people. It's Texas. So
yes.
if you're looking for a full stadium, not a partial capacity, there's your 100% guarantee. That said, I just right now, I'm all for experiments. I'm all for bringing somebody up, trying new things. I'm not like right now. The status quo is the last thing you want to be doing. It's let's find out who our next stars are that could potentially make it to WrestleMania next year, and why not do that? Like, exactly what you said. I don't understand this, but it's not it's not a massive sticking point with me, but it's always one that I've wondered why the hell aren't they focusing on the tag teams? Because they always want to make single stars and they just hey, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on though. Boy, oh boy, Aleister Black. We've gotten 2 weeks of Aleister Black reading the book. I believe the title is Tale of the Dark Father, I think.
Yes.
And he's basically referring to, and again, this is based on the animation that they're using during his promos, which is a very interesting animation.
It is.
Very cool, very different. And it's essentially implying that Satan is his father. I mean, that's the implication, I would think.
Yep.
So he's sitting there with his glasses on, and he's reading these stories and talking about how we're all fools, and he'd give us the keys to our freedom. But, I here's what I make of this. It seems like it's his darker character more fleshed out. So he's not a completely different character. He was basically rising from the dead during all of his entrances anyway. So this is an offshoot of it. It's more fleshed out, as I said, and I'm interested in this. How are you feeling about this so far?
Welcome back to the WWE Podcast. Let's get back to more great wrestling audio.
I am at first I was my reaction was, why did we keep him off TV forever to come up with a character that's just Aleister Black, but now he talks? Because the old Aleister Black character, this is exactly how I thought he would talk. But watching the vignettes and the promos, it's something different. It plays to his strengths rather than having him do a traditional promo in the ring. You're right. The animation is fantastic, and I've never seen anything like it on WWE. And it is cryptic enough that you're not giving away what it is right away, but it's also cryptic enough that he could clearly just be an insane person. Like, we're not necessarily heading for like Undertaker powers here. Like, he's just a disillusioned, crazy dude that has these thoughts. So the character is very cool at the moment. I just hope that, and I know they have like a plan for him going forward, and not just we're going to do these vignettes. Hell, I don't know what to do. Put him in the ring and rush it. But if they keep going and they've fleshed out this character well enough, this could be a really cool character.
The vignettes are something that WWE has started to bring back with Aleister Black, of course, but who else had done it? I know EC3 famously did it and then went into nowhere. We had Carmella, who was doing it. Liv Morgan did it. Yet look at where they're at now. I mean,
Exactly.
so they do all these vignettes, which I'm a massive fan of vignettes. I think they are. They don't need to be done for everybody, but they are effective when done correctly, and I love them generally. So the problem, though, is what's the actual execution of this character once you get them into a, quote, live audience? And what's the story? Give us a 6-month plan. They should have minimum a 6-month plan. And it feels like they're just doing a week-to-week plan. And it's such a waste of everyone's time to go through this and then stop, 20% of the way through and not see the whole damn thing through, which is what it feels like when they're doing these things. So I like what I'm seeing with Aleister Black. I think it's interesting. It's dark. These dark characters draw people to them. Look at The Fiend. And so I'm scared. I'm really nervous about when he gets to Raw, or rather SmackDown. What are they going to do? Is he going to jump into something and then he's gone 2 weeks later? He just kind of goes to the main event, loses, and then he's just allocated to the mid card and just stays there. I mean, I'm scared because I have a feeling this is going to be one of those deals where they don't have a long-term plan. But I haven't seen the evidence for it when they bring vignettes to somebody and then they debut. I'm scared. So
no, there's no reason to trust them with a long-term story or the nourishing of a fantastic character. So these are very good, and I hope that he has a lot of success with them. But if we do this again next year, I just hope we're not talking about, man, remember when those vignettes came out and we were so excited, and now he's back on main event.
The sad thing is, if you were going to tell me what's more likely, him becoming Universal Champion or being on main event in a year, I mean, I think we know the answer. So, okay. Cesaro. I know that he was part of the main event. We didn't really talk about him in the main event where he came to the aid of Daniel Bryan as Roman Reigns was going to hit the concerto. Jey Uso comes out, evens the odds. And then, of course, Sami Zayn does get involved as well and hits the haluba kick. And, was he in the main event? Maybe I'm mixing the main event up. But he made an appearance toward the end. Oh, okay. Well, Sami Zayn was involved in the Intercontinental Championship match. I'm thinking of the IC title with Apollo Crews and Big E.
How did we both see that? Wow.
See? Oh, God. Okay, see, I know somebody out there is probably screaming, no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? See, we corrected ourselves.
Sure did.
So Jey Uso came out, even the odds, and then he hit the concerto anyway as Cesaro was tied up in the ropes, making him watch. So what are your thoughts? I'm going to focus this on Cesaro because Cesaro is the dude that we all respect. I think the entire locker room respects. And it's just a matter of time before he gets that Universal Championship match. Do you think that it's going to be at Backlash? Or, per my theory, do you think that – this is the right choice, by the way. This is a false choice you're being given. Do you think that Money in the Bank, if Cesaro wins it, is going to force Roman Reigns' hand to finally face him? Because he told Cesaro the answer is always going to be no, which tells me until he's absolutely forced contractually, he's not going to face Cesaro. So perhaps Roman Reigns doesn't even have a championship match at Backlash. He's given the night off. People are pissed about it, which I'm fine with. I'm good with that. I want anger. Yep. And Cesaro wins the match at Money in the Bank and is forcing Roman Reigns there. But I could be wrong. What do you think?
I didn't think about that. It's only fair. I gave you a false choice, you to give one back. I would argue the difficulty has gone up a bit with yours. So with Seth Rollins hanging around, Cesaro's not, I don't think, going to be the one at Backlash. I think that's too soon for the kind of story that they're telling here. It could even be a Seth Rollins leapfrogs Cesaro thing, because that's part of the story that they're telling. It would make sense for Cesaro to win Money in the Bank and then force Roman's hand. My concern would be that everybody that's ever won Money in the Bank and not won the title, especially the ones that announced it ahead of time, come out looking like losers. So you could either do Cesaro wins Money in the Bank, forces Roman's hand, or I think Roman has shown you enough now that if you make him mad or he dislikes you, that he will put his title on the line in order to get to you. He just did that with Daniel Bryan. There was no reason for him to put that title back on the line. But Daniel made fun of him, and he had a history with him, like a recent history. And so in order to get Daniel Bryan away from him, he challenged him for the title when Edge was still making his decision, even though we knew who he was going to pick. Roman comes out and spears Edge because he's not big on waiting to be challenged. So you could either have Cesaro just win Money in the Bank, that's fine, or you could draw this out and slowly Cesaro pisses off Roman enough that he either wins a number one contendership against Seth Rollins or whomever, or he pisses Roman off enough to give him a title shot. But either way, it certainly shouldn't be at Backlash. That's too soon. Cesaro's not going to win, but you can build up Cesaro here, and this would be the way to do it.
Yes. Either way, regardless of whatever way that they put Cesaro into the championship picture, and they finally get him to Roman Reigns versus Cesaro for the Universal Championship, it's going to be forcing Roman Reigns' hand some way, somehow. This is not, I don't think it's going to be a Roman Reigns just like, all right, I'll give you your shot because, you know, you're getting me angry. Because the fact is, he's never said this to Roman never told it to anybody that the answer will always be no.
That's true.
He never has said that to anybody else. And yes, you can piss him off, but that doesn't mean he's going to reward you with a championship opportunity. It'll reward you with an ass whipping. It won't reward you with a championship picture. And too often, honestly, this is a much bigger topic as well. I think championship matches are rewarded by bad behavior, meaning all you have to do is attack a champion and you get a championship opportunity. That is almost all of the time that's what happens. So, which is true. Backwards.
Yeah.
So with Roman Reigns, sure, you'll get a match with him, but it's not going to be for the championship, and you're just going to get your ass kicked. So I think that it's until he forces his hand contractually, like you said, a tournament, for a number one contendership or Money in the Bank, that's when Cesaro will finally get Roman Reigns. The question is, how long are they going to string this out? Do they actually string it out? Maybe they have their match at Money in the Bank. Maybe he wins it at Money in the Bank and cashes in at SummerSlam. I don't know. Either way, if you're a babyface holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, you most of the time do want to announce it ahead of time because it's not a, quote, babyface thing to do to take advantage of somebody when they're at their weakest moment.
It is, yeah.
So that's why it's a match designed for heels to win, generally. Just like ladder matches, I think, are designed for heels to win. Just like steel cage matches are designed for heels to win because it's an easy out. So I think that they probably string this along another couple of months. But if you're going to string along a couple months, well, then you're getting close to SummerSlam season. Do you wait for Cesaro versus Reigns at SummerSlam? There's a lot of possibilities. I guess my question is, when Cesaro does get that Universal Championship match, which we all know is going to happen, do you think that it's going to end with Cesaro capturing the Universal Championship, or is Cesaro yet just another stepping stone for Roman Reigns?
Cesaro is another stepping stone for Roman Reigns. That hurts me, and it doesn't to say that, because Cesaro has all the tools that you would need to be the guy that beats Roman Reigns. But nothing in the history of him in WWE has indicated to me that they feel that way about Cesaro. I bring this up on the NXT podcast all the time. He's still Swiss, and if I'm judging by Stone Cold's podcast, Vince McMahon still feels weird about that. I think that Cesaro is a really, really, really good guy to put in this position of Roman completely not respecting him or his accomplishments or lack thereof until Cesaro makes him begrudgingly respect it. If you put a gun to my head and made me pick the guy that's eventually going to beat Roman for the Universal title, it's not Cesaro, and I don't see Roman Reigns as a guy that's going to lose the title to win it back.
Then that poses an interesting question. This is a tough question, so if you don't have an answer, I honestly don't. So if you ask me, I'm going to cop out because I don't have one.
All right.
Who is the person that eventually takes the championship off Roman?
Yeah.
Is that person on the roster right now? Meaning
Yes.
They are. So you don't believe that it's going to be, say, people have been booking this for years, Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania, and The Rock is the one to take it off. Or some, or returning John Cena or somebody,
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, in other words, is that person on SmackDown right now? Is that person a part of the SmackDown roster that is going to be the one to take it off Roman Reigns? Like,
so,
yeah.
First, yes, the person is on the SmackDown roster. Second, yeah, okay. So you could have John Cena come back, break Ric Flair's record. You could have The Rock, cousin versus cousin. He wins the title. Whatever would be the point of that? But now listen, I understand Goldberg was just Universal Champion not that long ago. So I get that this is WWE, but it's WWE with Roman Reigns, who treats Roman Reigns like a priceless artifact. If there was ever anybody in the history of wrestling since Hulk Hogan that they weren't just going to beat for the sake of beating without making sure they make a new main event star, it's Roman Reigns. And if you just have John Cena come back and beat him, or The Rock come back and beat him, The Rock got hurt in his last match with John Cena. There's no guarantee he's going to be able to hold that title. John Cena's making 12 movies at the same time, and he's not going to be around very much. And I don't frankly know if he's interested in being back in the ring. So yes, you could. I would love to see The Rock versus Roman if Roman wins. I'd love to see The Rock versus John Cena again, especially with that history and seeing how those promos would be different. But if you're going to beat Roman Reigns for that title eventually, I want it to be somebody that's not yet on that level, that's brought to that level, and then is believable by the time they beat him.
The formula is exactly what that's exactly what it has to be.
Yeah.
If they bring in a legend, Goldberg, Cena, Rock, and that whoever that is beats Roman Reigns for the championship, I think that is a massive mistake. Massive.
Yes.
I don't care if he beats him in a non-title match, just as a showcase main event for WrestleMania. Sure. I think that's fine. 100%. Sure. If The Rock wants to beat Roman Reigns for just pure pride, cool. Like, I would love to see somebody shut up Reigns, beat him down, but he has added so much to that Universal Championship, so much, and he is a special heel right now. I would argue not even argue. I think it's inarguable that he is the biggest star in WWE right now, carrying it on his back. And you want to make sure this isn't just any other championship exchange. Like, this is a big deal. I mean, he's had it since what? 200 and
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. So 200 and some day, 250 days. Yep. You need to make sure that this is a star that you can, like you said, build with it. This is not something to give to a legacy star. Could you imagine if this at SummerSlam, which apparently is supposed to be in front of actual fans at SummerSlam, if it was Goldberg versus Roman and Goldberg beats Roman Reigns? I mean, yes, Roman Reigns is a heel, but I mean, I'm sorry to put that image in people's minds, but the sad thing is I could actually see something like that where Vince is like, well, damn it, Reigns is a heel now, and Goldberg he's intense. I mean, like you can see Vince trying to convince himself that that's a good idea. Now, I haven't heard rumors. I'm probably going down a road that doesn't exist, but I'm scared about getting to SummerSlam here if there's nobody on the roster that Vince.
I swear to God, if this happens, I'm gonna make you do the review show with me. I could not care less who else you have, so that I can yell at you for an hour to put it into the universe, and you're just gonna have to mute the mic the whole time. Matt,
just think of. I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that.
No,
people
don't
are
apologize because you're not even getting yelled at, so don't worry about it.
It's like the pre-yelling. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
The person who beats Roman Reigns is already on the SmackDown roster, and they're already potentially. This is one of those things where if everything goes right, this person is going to be ready by the time they're ready. Now, that's never a guarantee in the WWE, but if they keep doing everything the correct way, he will be by, I don't know, let's say after SummerSlam, but somewhere between SummerSlam and WrestleMania, they'll be ready. So the person you need is already there. You just need to stick with the plan and make 2 stars instead of 1.
Who is that person?
The person I'm so glad you asked. The person who beats Roman Reigns needs to have a few qualifications, Matt. Let me write them down for you.
Okay.
The person who beats Roman Reigns needs to be somebody who has never been WWE or Universal Champion before. I want this to be a crowning moment. The person who beats Roman Reigns has to be somebody that already has big moments, big pay-per-view moments, big title wins, big WrestleMania moments. The person who beats Roman Reigns needs to pass the Vince McMahon, Randy Orton test, which is, can you stand in the ring with Randy Orton and look intimidating? Would Vince McMahon think you're an attractive dude? The person that beats Roman Reigns needs to be different. The person who beats Roman Reigns needs to be an excellent promo that can carry a show. The person who beats Roman Reigns needs to be able to be comedic when they need to be, and very, very good at being serious and intense when they need to. And the person who beats Roman Reigns needs to be really good in the ring and being able to hit him very hard. The only person on that roster that fits exactly all of those qualifications I told you is former New Day member Big E Langston. Matt?
There is honestly nobody else.
Yep.
I'm looking again. This is the current roster because maybe they do a draft, right? Maybe if they do a draft, then things are changed. And if they bring somebody up from NXT, things change. But, I'm looking down here. You got, Chad Gable, Kevin Owens has had like 4 chances.
Right. There's nobody that if they keep going. Otherwise, there's almost no point to him losing the Intercontinental title. But if he blows off this feud with Apollo and he starts having more main event segments, he's already had multiple segments with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's already doing that thing where he's building him up and trying to send him in another direction the same way he did with Roman when he was the advocate for Brock Lesnar. The only person that is absolutely not ready right now, but will be by the time Roman's ready, is Big E. And I understand that doesn't feel like a big match right now, but you could bring Drew McIntyre to SmackDown if you want and have them do it, but Drew's already been WWE champion. You're not doing anything new with that. But if Big E has his own WrestleMania moment and 2 members of the New Day win the title at WrestleMania, if you have a more serious Big E that comes after Roman, you got it.
Big E is a guy that for so many years people have said he is the powerhouse of the New Day, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it, and it's true. And he does have, I think, a lot of the New Day characteristics still lingering on him, which I understand that he doesn't want to change everything, and that's what brought him to the dance. And he doesn't want to just flip everything on a dime and be this whole new character. And I can respect that, but he needs to distance himself from the New Day as far as he can over time. I'm okay with slow progression on this, but I don't need him every pay-per-view event because it's a co-branded event. Him coming out and doing, I don't. Exactly. Stop it. You are not with them anymore. I understand people like the feel-good part of it. I'm done with it. We've seen how many years, it feels like 10 years of this thing. I'm over it. I think that it's not worth the 10 seconds of people smiling for regressing Big E's singles career, which I look at it when they do that, when they're reunited backstage. Like, if they do that, of course they're going to really do that in real life. That's fine. But I don't need to see it on camera, because then all the progression that you've made with Big E as getting him in the minds of fans as a single star, you're taking away and erasing all of that when you see them with the New Day. You're like, oh, that's right, he's just part of the New Day. Like, no, stop. So that's number one. I've said that for a while now. But yes, Big E, he's got the size, he's got the look. His promos are a little bit cartoonish. Exactly. I'm not a huge fan of his promos right now. He can talk, and he's charismatic, but almost charismatic just to be charismatic rather than real emotion, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't need a serious promo from him, and I know maybe that's just who he is, and if that's who he is, whatever, fine, I'll deal with it.
I mean, he's I think son of a preacher, and that's why his promos sound the way they do.
He sounds like a Southern Baptist preacher, like a Sunday morning. He's very much that way, yes.
However, if you were to listen to the promo when he was still Intercontinental Champion on Apollo Crews, pick any of those promos after he got really mad.
Yes.
Or us pick the promos when he was still in the New Day and they were facing the Usos and he grabbed the mic from one of the other members of the New Day and it changed the whole atmosphere and it got very intense and it was like, no, we're having fun right now, but when it comes to the pay-per-view, I'm going to kick the hell out of you. That Big E is in there, and if we can bring that out more, the reason that he gives silly promos is because that's part of who he is, and we can keep some of that. It's also because he's been involved in a lot of silly stuff. So, of course, you're not going to go scorched earth on a promo, but when he's gotten chances to, he has. So if after this we put him in serious situations and intense situations, especially if down the road we put him with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, Big E, in the right mind frame, can 100% handle himself in a segment with Paul Heyman back and forth. There's not a ton of people I can say that about, but in every glimpse of that I've seen from Big E, he's absolutely capable of doing it. You just have to put him in the right situation so that he has a reason to use it.
You do. Big E is, like you said, there have been glimpses of that man inside of, holy crap, he can actually be serious. And there was one with Apollo Crews that was like, I was like, thank you. This is what we've been waiting for. And then he goes back to just being silly, goofy Big E. It's like, I understand he can't be that serious, angry dude all the time. I get it. No. I don't want him being Braun Strowman, the chronically angry giant. He's just constantly angry. He's so one-dimensional.
Giant baby.
He just, that's all he is. And we'll get to Braun Strowman shortly. But Big E, yes, I've seen glimpses. I've seen progress with him. That's what I want, and I'm glad. It's just I cringe when I see the goofy Big E. Maybe he can tone that part of him down, or who am I to say? But I don't think that this exact version of Big E, as it stands on May 2nd, 2021, is the Big E that can defeat Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. That's why you said that it. Probably sometime between SummerSlam and Mania, because it is an evolution, and it should be an evolution of his character into that caliber that is believable to beat Roman Reigns. So
he is ready. He is ready to do that. He is ready to be, sticking with the analogy of fire and brimstone promo.
Kane, huh?
You see what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to unmask him. He's going to have a black streak on his face. RVD's going to be there.
Oh, God.
And
it's like 03. Oh, God, I remember that Raw. Yeah.
Yeah. His face was sure messed up, huh? And he's excellent in the ring. He has high spots that he does. He passes the size test. He passes the it factor test. He passes everything. And this was part of the problem with Kofi Kingston, right? He was still a member of the New Day. He just happened to be WWE champion. Mm-hmm. And Vince McMahon likes the New Day. And I'm going to be really careful here because I do this on the NXT podcast and think very carefully how I want to word this. Of course, Vince McMahon really likes the New Day. He likes R-Truth too.
I know where you're going.
There we go. Thanks.
Yeah.
There's been a few times.
Crime Time's coming back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's it. There's been a few times when I've recorded those segments where my wife has looked at me like, do you want to check with Matt before you post it? I was like, Matt's fine.
I know exactly.
Kofi? Yeah, right. Kofi was a member of the New Day, and I love the New Day. But Kofi with the New Day was not WWE champion level. And it's not because of Kofi. It's not because of New Day. It's because of the way Vince McMahon sees the New Day. And it's because of the way they used him. So if you continue to separate Big E from the New Day, and as he gets they're already doing it without meaning to. The further away he gets from the New Day, the more serious and more of an edge he has to him. Those serious promos are coming out more. He's dancing less. He's more serious in general. The entrance music has changed, which in universe means the character went to them and said, change my music. The further away he gets, the more intense he gets. And if you keep turning that dial and get it to the right place, I can guarantee you by the time we get to the Royal Rumble, if Big E wins that thing, he's going to be ready and people are going to be ready for him. He's the person on the roster that is already on a trajectory to do it. He's the person on the roster that I can see meeting all of the qualifications. And also otherwise, I don't see why you'd break up the New Day. He's not a mid-card act.
Not anymore. No. Big E he's I think mentally fine to be in the main. I mean, he could main event tomorrow, and I think he'd mentally be fine with it. It's just the evolution of his character that is lacking behind the perception of his character on TV. Yes. While fans respect him, and I think everybody in the locker room respects him, that his character just still feels like it's attached to something that it shouldn't be, and it's taking longer than I would like to detach it, but perhaps this is all by design to get him in line for a shot at the title. Maybe, like you said, he would be a favorite. If the Royal Rumble was tomorrow, I would say Big E's a massive favorite. Yes. He feels that way. He feels like he should have that moment and hopefully in front of fans by the time January rolls around. Definitely. This is it's such an interesting topic with Big E, but it's absolutely going to be something that we're seeing. Within 6 to 12 months, if we don't see a Big E Roman Reigns Universal Championship match, I don't know what the hell WWE is doing. Exactly. Yeah, I really don't. So okay, back to the task at hand here. Apollo Crews, and who did he face this week for the Intercontinental Championship? Well, I'm losing my mind today. Jesus. Yes. Big E. So, obviously, Apollo Crews retains. Commander Aziz gets involved. And, Dabba-Kato gets involved. And Sami Zayn also gets himself involved after Kevin Owens comes out and he tries to, keep things stable. So, I don't think, whenever we see a championship match on TV, we all know that it's probably going to be 95% chance of that champion retaining. Yes, we've seen. I think the only big time championship we've seen change hands was when Randy Orton faced Drew McIntyre on Raw for the WWE Championship. Yeah. After he lost it 3 weeks earlier at Hell in a Cell. So that's the only time I can think of in the recent memory. But I love Apollo Crews as Intercontinental Champion. I'll just take Dabba-Kato. Fine, he's Commander Aziz. It's not like Dabba-Kato was a household name, whatever. Right, sure. Don't care. He was in Raw Underground, the beloved and forgotten Raw Underground.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I know I have a lot of Raw Underground fans here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was going to say Retribution is also a storyline that I have choice words for. I don't want to offend anybody. I know that that is also one of the most beloved storylines in WWE history. So
how dare you? Modern day NXT, but done better. That's fine. Whatever.
I do want to get your thoughts on that for sure, because we have Drew McIntyre coming up soon with Retribution and Mace and T-Bar. But with Apollo Crews versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship, again, I thought it was a really good match. Big E had the match won. He was going to go for the cover after he hit the big ending. And then Commander Aziz pulls out Big E, causes the disqualification, which causes Kevin Owens to come down, get involved, and try to take them down. Didn't work, but what did you think of this match and the overall Apollo Crews Intercontinental Championship reign?
It was perfect. I like Apollo Crews a lot. I don't necessarily have a reason why. I think because I just saw him in NXT and I like him. This is a character. Sometimes some people aren't as naturally charismatic. Like, I believe if you were to meet Big E just on the street, he would be the guy that he is on TV, just turned up to 11. That's not Apollo Crews turned up to 11. That's a gimmick. Gimmicks can be silly. This one is. But sometimes gimmicks are really good, and it lets you come out of your shell a bit, and that's what's happened with Apollo. Apollo Crews 6 months ago could not cut a promo on SmackDown and have it be anything remotely interesting or put any character in it. So I like that they've done this with Apollo Crews. I really hope he's comfortable with the character and what it's playing off of and the accent. Again, real careful, just really hope he's comfortable with it. Commander Aziz, yeah, sure. We take a household name Dabba-Kato from world famous WWE Fight Club. It's not nice to disrespect it. Shane McMahon spent a lot of time on that.
I can't even take you seriously. Sorry. Go ahead.
How dare you, sir? Hey, sir. First off, it's my time to talk. Second, Shane McMahon drove to every building, found a big lot on every lot that Raw was on, siphoned power, took the ring ropes off, poured sand all over it. Looked kind of sandy. Brought strippers for only 1 week.
Just the first week. Yep.
Just the first week. They were expensive. It was distracting.
Yeah. He thought it was the Attitude Era again. He thought it was 1999.
He really did. And then had men fight each other and found a cameraman that's willing to cut every time a punch hits. Don't you ever disrespect the effort of Shane McMahon. But household name Dabba-Kato. That's a dumb gimmick. That's a dumb shirt he's wearing. But that's fine. Big, heavy. Love that thing's called the Nigerian Nail, and before that it was the Samoan Spike, because there's a foreigner finisher, and those alliterate. I like that presentation. I like the match. It did what it needed to do. Apollo is still Intercontinental Champion. Big E had him beat, but Aziz pulled him out of the ring. At the same time, you set up Kevin Owens to have an issue with Commander Aziz and maybe Sami Zayn to have an issue with Apollo so that Big E can quietly get away from this. It did everything that you needed it to do. It's not it's not a particularly interesting match or feud, but it did everything it needed to do, and I think it helped everybody involved kind of move to different stories.
Yeah, this was just again a very perfectly done textbook. Let's keep the story moving match, and this clearly is going to Apollo Crews versus Big E again at Backlash. Which again, when you have a name called WrestleMania Backlash. Again, we could talk about that the fact that it's implied that it's Backlash from WrestleMania, but they wanted to just make sure that we were clear that this is the Backlash from WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. But with that said, if the name of WrestleMania Backlash, that implies that it's going to be a lot of matches, fallout and closeout of the matches and programs that were at WrestleMania and beyond. So this is just the warmed over, I guess, just leftovers of WrestleMania, which is, it should be, because it's the name of the pay-per-view. I think things are going to start fresh the Monday Night Raw after Backlash, and we'll see new programs, new feuds, and there should be. So I don't think anybody should be very surprised or complain about, oh my God, we're doing this again. Well, you should kind of know based on the name of the pay-per-view that it's not going to be all new feuds, right? Like, you may have alterations of the matches from WrestleMania, but it's ultimately going to be generally the same card. Which, whatever. I mean, I'm sure I don't dislike the card that's being shaped up. I really don't. Okay. I do want to move on though, because there's so much on Raw. Well, let me get you a quick thought before we move to Raw about Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax and Tamina and Natalya, which I've never ever heard. And this is my only thought on this, and I'll toss it to you. First of all, I'm happy for Tamina. I'm happy for Natalya. This is the most relevant either have been in a very long time.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know if that's good or like kind of sad or not, but the fact that the announce team are pointing out the fact that Tamina got cheered at WrestleMania multiple weeks after, like they are bringing up just weeks removed from the fans chanting Tamina's name. Why would you bring that up? That just exposes how irrelevant she's been for how many years. Like, I understand that was a great moment. That was, I felt really genuinely happy for her as a person in that moment to have the first time ever fans audibly cheering your name at the biggest event that you have. And I really felt for her. But you don't continue to bring it up as basically her only accomplishment. That's awful. That's not a plus. And they're continuing to tell you that. But ultimately, look, I think it's fine to have the focus on a different tag team. I think eventually they will overcome Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, probably at Backlash. But that's all my thoughts. Your turn on that.
All right, sweet. I can do this one quick. In order. Tamina. Long career, very injured a lot of the time. Can't do a lot. I'm sincerely glad, as you were, that she got cheered at WrestleMania. And I think they're bringing it up because it's the only thing they can think of. And I think that's not great, but I mean, I don't know what the hell else you're going to do. You should sell her more as a monster, but you're not gonna, so here we are. Boom, check that one off. Natalya is very, very, very talented. Natalya's character is also very, very, very boring, and not for a split second have I ever cared. Ever, not once, ever. Not ever. And that's not Matt, not once. And it's not her fault, I don't think. But she as a character is like buttered bread that's not toasted. Like, yeah, I'll eat it and it's fine. But if we had a toaster, it'd be better.
Yeah, it's like microwave toast, yeah.
It's like microwave toast, and that's a much better way to put it. I'm glad you're here, and that's why you own the network. Boom, checked off. Shayna Baszler is much better than all of this. I'm glad she has something to do. There was a story going around that when that WrestleMania match happened with her and Becky Lynch wanted to lose the title to her, and WWE said, no, God forbid we make another star. It'll kill Becky Lynch. She should have won it there. I think that would have had her taken more seriously, but she can't cut a believable promo for her style, so she can't do it because there's never been a champion that doesn't have the right voice or cadence for it. There's never been a Bobby Lashley or a Brock Lesnar. There's never been any of those dudes. So Shayna's just here being too good for all this. Boom, checked off, done. Nia Jax is my least favorite wrestler. She was unsafe, took time off, didn't practice, and she was okay for her first match on her best day, and also isn't an interesting promo or look or style or anything. She's an amalgamation of all the things I don't like about a pro wrestler. She's uninteresting. She's boring. She's hard to watch, and she is unsafe. So, I mean, yeah, cool. She's here too. Great. Boom, checked off. Additional note, Pat McAfee, really good on commentary.
Yes.
Done and done. Got it.
Check. Pat McAfee, especially for, being on this particular job for just a couple of weeks. I mean,
Exactly.
man, he feels like he's been here for years. So,
Dude, he's great.
He's
I hope
so
they
good.
keep him around.
And it's only a 2-man booth, which it should be.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
God. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I promise to move on. I will move on to Raw here. RK Bro. That's all I'll say because I want your thought. I have opposing thoughts on this. My mind is struggling, but because I personally can't stand Matt Riddle's character, but when you have Randy Orton as the yin to his yang, where he is just the serious, they are diametrically opposed. They are Randy Orton, the serious guy. I mean, he was just in a previous program with The Fiend where The Fiend was actually trying to kill him. I mean, we had Alexa Bliss saying he will die at WrestleMania. That was said to Matt Riddle, who's talking about the sun and the stars and circling around on his scooter and getting new gear and saying we got something in common. We're both from Earth. I mean, like stupid crap. And Randy Orton's expressions, I think, are what make this, to me, at least palatable. Yeah.
1,000%.
So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Some people hate this, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Listen, I get it. First off, RK Bro, the people who hate it, you're going to stop acting like Rated RKO wasn't a name of a tag team. You're going to stop acting like this is the worst tag team name you've ever heard of. I just said Jericho. Y'all going to stop acting like RK Bro is the worst thing you've ever heard. I agree with you on Matt Riddle. Character is weird. Usually with an NXT person, I'm kind of biased towards them because, especially now that I do the podcast, I talk about them a lot and I talk about their journeys through NXT and to the main roster where you're kind of nervous for their future. Matt Riddle is a guy who is exactly that character you see on TV, except in NXT he had more moments of intensity. When he got in there and the bell rang, he was going to kill you. And when you threatened him, he didn't laugh and say, "Whoa, that's weird, dude." He would try and murder you. And if we wanted to take him more seriously, add more of those moments. For 0.0 seconds did I ever think that Vince McMahon was going to look at this dude not wearing shoes and make him serious at all. So I've never been a Matt Riddle guy for a few reasons, but fine. We'll use him as comedic relief. If you're going to use him as stupid stoner comedic relief, I can't think of a lot of people on the roster that is better to do this with than Randy Orton. Randy Orton's been running at a main event pace since the build up to last year's WrestleMania with Edge. He went from Beth Phoenix to Christian to Big Show to all these people to Edge again to Drew McIntyre to Keith Lee to The Fiend. He's been working with a lot of people and putting on really good matches at a main event pace. Let the dude have a few months off just having fun with this stoner, and I'm sure that they have a lot of fun together because I bet you they have similar interests. I think it's one of those stupid wrestling things that if my wife came in, she would say, "What's this?" I would try to explain it. She'd say it's dumb and I'd have to agree with her, but that's fun sometimes.
Dumb doesn't mean bad. Sometimes,
no, it does not.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes, and I'm not trying to insult the intelligence of fans here, but sometimes dumb can be entertaining. It's just when dumb, there's a lot of stupid dumb, but
yes,
and dumb is generally stupid, but there are those special kind of dumb segments that make you laugh and you go, well, I know that was ridiculously bad, but it's actually kind of funny. It reaches the level of, like, when things are so bad, it's almost a parody of itself, which makes it funny. It's weird. So in this case, I have to say this, and people, a lot of my listeners have been emailing me and saying, look, what are you talking about? Matt Riddle's the worst as far as his character. Nobody disagrees with his in-ring. I think his in-ring is very good. I'm not a fan of the sandals and the flip-flops and throwing them off and birds flying everywhere. I hate that crap. But in the ring, he's intense as hell. I like the matches he had with Sheamus, all that. But now he's moved into this Randy Orton's part of his career. And I just, I was a massive, I'm still a big Randy Orton fan, but I think that the nonsensical pothead kind of stoner / fraternity brother type of, like, dude, whatever, man, like, and just talking about things that don't make sense and scooting around on it, I did not like that at all. But when Randy Orton stepped in, again, he's the perfect guy to come in and shut Riddle down. But Riddle doesn't understand how stupid he is. But Randy Orton he doesn't even know what to say to this guy. He didn't even know who he was last week. He said, "What's your name?" He didn't even know who he was. And now I think this could work. I really do. And I think that they're probably a little bit on the fence on what to do with this, because if they feel that fans are looking at this and saying, man, this is actually kind of fun. RK Bro's a good name. They seem to have on-air chemistry. They are completely opposites of one another, which makes this work. Randy Orton has been involved in death storylines. Let's give him something different to do. I'm not saying make him a comedy character. I'm not saying that, but let's wait out the RKO that's inevitably coming for Matt Riddle. We all know that eventually Randy Orton's going to turn on Riddle, assumingly, with an RKO. We know that. And it's going to be Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton at some point. Right. I just don't know if they planned on it being at Backlash, or if now they're looking at it going, well, guys, this is we may be onto something by accident. Let's string this out a couple of months and wait for it then. I mean, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to strike? Randy Orton's going to strike Monday, or maybe in a couple of months?
No, it's going to be a couple months. They're going to do the same thing. I know you said you don't often get a chance to watch NXT. This is exactly what they did with Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. They were the Broserweights. They were an unlikely couple. Matt Riddle was happy-go-lucky. Pete Dunne was the straight man who was already sick of him. And slowly but surely, they worked well together. They had a chemistry in the ring, and they used Pete Dunne being the straight man as comedy. And then eventually they have the serious person turn on the other person because they're sick of it. So it's going to be a couple months. We're going to get some funny segments on it. Randy Orton's going to get a little bit of a lighter schedule in terms of working the main events. And then they'll turn on each other. They'll do a feud, and Randy Orton will make Matt Riddle look really good. And I think that's absolutely fine to have a fun team like this that's going to run for a few months, and they'll break up and give them both something to do.
Yep, I think exactly. I don't know. Again, it's only a sample size of a couple of weeks. This is relatively new. They could crap the bed next week. The problem is when Vince McMahon sees anybody that has an inkling of comedy, he takes that comedy and makes that their complete identity. And he blows. Look what he did with Otis. Completely destroyed Otis because he saw him as this happy-go-lucky, big-bellied, jolly guy. That
Matt, here's the thing you're not understanding, because he's on a different level than you. Otis is fat, and that's very funny.
Oh, now I get. I missed it.
See, this is why you should have me on more, because you just miss stuff that's right in front of you.
I wasted so much time. I was like, what is so funny? And now that is whole. You know what? Wow.
Yeah.
Vince, you're too smart for me.
That's the thing.
Oh, God, I think it's probably my 3% Swiss I have in my blood.
Probably.
God. All right. Okay. Shifting gears a little bit on Monday Night Raw, though, but something that personally I'm loving this is Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, while I understand the arguments against her being on every segment and every show, she's involved in every championship. Well, number one, that's not what she's doing anymore. She's strictly to Raw. We don't have to deal with that.
Sure.
She feels like this is what she should be. Number one, a heel. Authentic. She's got different gear. She looks like she's, I don't know. She looks good. Like, I mean, I'm a straight man who's married, but I can say, like, look, she looks really good. I mean, let's be honest. She does. And she feels more confident on the mic. She doesn't have the robotic promo voice.
Yes.
That to me is number one, is the robotic promo voice is gone, and it's just Charlotte Flair, period. And that's what I love. She broke the fourth wall many times on her promo back, talking about, of course, this was a couple of weeks ago on Raw, that, you know, these are a lot of things that were out of my control. I was involved with Asuka. She needed a partner. My dad came back, blah, blah, blah. And she basically said that, you know, she did not have a control over that without saying the word storyline.
Yes.
So I love that she's, you know, I understand she's being shot into the women's championship picture. She attacks Asuka and attacks Rhea Ripley as Raw Women's Champion. But, okay, I'll stop there because there's more, but go ahead. What are your thoughts on this? Oh, and she attacked the referee and Sonya Deville this week, reinstated her just with a simple apology. Lots of things going on with this, so go ahead.
I can't decide if the ref thing is really stupid or inconsequential. I can't decide if this is a thing that I don't like because I'm supposed to not like it, or if it's a I wish that I weren't watching it thing. You are right. I was going to disagree with you when you started talking, but I thought about it because I'm a professional and we're friends.
Yeah, well, we want to make people think that, but there's really some bad blood. Yeah.
By friends, I mean I can't stand you, and I wish I'm slowly but surely taking all of this over, and I can't wait to get you out.
You're saying the quiet part out loud now. Come on.
Dude. Hey, Matt. Thought it was muted. That's cool.
Yeah. All right, I'll edit that out. Go ahead.
I think that Charlotte is doing a good job, and she has improved. She did the thing Nia didn't do. She went away and she got better. I think that at this point, Charlotte is paying for sins of the past and not sins of her past, sins of WWE's past. WWE was so eager to make her the daughter of Ric Flair. She is anyway, but the daughter of Ric Flair, and make her the best woman to ever compete, that they just constantly put her in the title picture. It's the same thing they did with John Cena. It's the same thing they did with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre to a degree. They think that the way to make you think that somebody is a main eventer is to constantly put them in contention or winning the title, and that's not what it is. So, yes, she is being put right back into the title picture, but Sonya Deville reinstated her. Sonya Deville doesn't care what you do to a referee. She wants the superstar. That makes sense for a general manager. It also makes sense that you would sign somebody of Charlotte Flair's caliber and put her in a title match. Also, she's not going to win, so who cares? But yeah, she feels like a different character, and I can work with that coming back. It's not like she was going to go away again for 6 months, so I'm fine with her coming back different.
Yeah, the thing is with Charlotte Flair, you know, when she's there, you're thinking, well, WWE is going to be centering everything they do around the women's division around Charlotte Flair, and history would say most likely yes. I mean, Charlotte Flair is consistently in title pictures. She's usually the focal point of the women's division where everything revolves around her. But this time felt different. And I'm having a hard time disliking this Charlotte Flair. Now, yeah. This is the problem. Now, normally, again, I'm usually on Charlotte burnout. I'm over the robotic voices and bow to the queen. It's very contrived. And it felt like it was just, here's my catchphrase. I got to make sure I say it.
True.
That, to me, has gone by the wayside for this improved, I don't know what it is. Maybe she's found an awakening on all the time she spent on the beaches with Andrade, which is what they just do. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I brought this up on a show last week. I mean, if anybody follows her on Instagram, number one, she's doing a ton of like modeling pictures. Apparently she's, I don't know. She's doing not only just modeling, but sitting on the beach with Andrade, and he's grabbing her ass, and they're kissing, and they're in a great relationship. Fine, happy. I don't know. Maybe it's she's found herself while sitting there pondering life in a I don't know, whatever, in a cabana, and she is just loving it. So perhaps that's what it is. I don't care. I don't know what it is. Don't care. I just know that she is and the best version of herself right now. The best version of Charlotte Flair I've ever seen. It feels so natural, and it's that intangible of Charlotte Flair right now that it's like, this is Charlotte, but it's not the Charlotte I remember.
Yeah, it's true.
So again, this is also just a few weeks, and yeah, the apology was weird. I liked how she got the referee to apologize to her.
That's funny. That
was good. Like, I laughed at that.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time though disliking the Charlotte Flair because she feels so authentic. Number one.
Yeah.
Much more than she has in the past. Rhea Ripley, sure. As good as she is, and I love Rhea Ripley. I guess she's supposed to be the heel. I don't know, but I don't know what to feel for Rhea. Because they haven't really told me what to do, so I'm kind of up in the air about Rhea Ripley. What do you feel for Rhea Ripley? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's the same thing, and it's because I don't think that they've figured it out yet. They had a plan for her coming in, and they had a plan for her winning the title. They didn't have a ton of a plan beyond that. And Rhea's very good at in the ring, and she's very good at being the specific character she is, which is like a badass that wants to fight you. And the character needs nurturing. They haven't done that yet, so she feels like a hollow character, because she is a little bit, and hopefully she gets guidance in that area and given more to do. But right now she's just kind of there.
Yeah, she is. I don't know. I mean, and Asuka is always, like, I hate to say she's a lost cause because she's so good, but man, oh man, I've never seen a more underwhelming championship run with such a big star holding the belt.
Of course,
never.
Yeah, they don't care about. They don't care about the Asuka that was in NXT or the Asuka that was anywhere else. Matt, here's the thing you're not understanding. English isn't her first language, and that's funny. And she dances and stuff.
What?
Does it make more sense now?
Now, okay. Okay, I'm trying to hold back the laughter because
my wife mumbled under her breath, "That's racist," and that's kind of the whole point, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's weird. I don't know if I believe that though. Vince doesn't have a history of that. I mean, so
yeah, no, there's nothing in his history that would indicate anything like that. Huh?
No, so I'm gonna have to say I disagree. There's no evidence.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's just, oh god, there could be a whole show on that thing. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do a show. That sounds like a fun show.
That would be, yeah. That may get me in some legal trouble, but at the same time, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next topic at hand here. McIntyre and Strowman, and I'll kind of lump this together because it was kind of a mess on Raw. Strowman facing Mason T-Bar by himself because he didn't want McIntyre. And the funny thing I found about this was before we had Strowman come out to face T-Bar and Mace, which, again, the defunct Retribution, and I don't even know what they're supposed to stand for. They just have this random makeup on that is what they quote, what pro wrestlers wear. It's just something to put on their face of which there's no meaning or consequence. But we had Braun Strowman just get in the face of Drew McIntyre in Gorilla and talk about, who's supposed to pay attention to who and who should take lessons from who. And McIntyre completely scorches Braun Strowman here because Braun Strowman, where McIntyre was talking about, I've been all over the world. I'm a 2-time WWE champion. I've been doing this for 16, 17 years. And Braun Strowman's like, well, I'm the monster among men. I'm like, dude, like your rebuttal to what everything that he laid out there on his resume is, I'm going to give you my nickname. It was pathetic. So I'll leave it. Do you have any comments on that before I go forward?
Oh, boy.
Look, it's just...
Matt, here's the thing you're not understanding.
I'm not
I'm the
understanding
monster.
yeah.
I'm the monster among men. Yeah, it's crazy that you have this platform. I'm the monster among men, and get these hands are his catchphrase, so he has to save them.
Wow.
And if you were to tell me, if I were to say to you, just stand back, kid. You're letting your emotions get the best of you on these podcasts. Let me show you how it's done, kid. And you said, I've been ranked this with my podcast network, and I've been doing it this long. And I said, but I'm the monster among men. I won that interaction because here's the thing, Matt, is you're not a monster. So if you really dig beneath the surface layer, I know that's like where you like to live. It makes a lot of sense.
Wow. Well, there's so much, guys. I hope you're listening. You're also feeling the revelation that I am about, Zach being able to bring things to light that were otherwise covered by this shield of just complete ignorance.
All I do, man.
Man, we're getting deep. I mean,
that's how we do.
I thought English was Oscar's first language.
It's incredible that you have this giant platform and you're just out here.
It's all just a stroke of luck. I've been able to get to where I am. But this is preposterous. Like when he said that, I go, the Strowman, I mean, he had to have felt absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, of course.
That's his
Of
comeback.
course he did. I can actually, if you want, Matt, I can do this one quick in order too. This one actually works the same way the women's tag match did.
Okay, maybe that's a better way to organize it. Go ahead.
I got you. Pick a number between 1 and 10 for me, Matt.
2.
Great. We're starting with Drew and Strowman. Drew McIntyre. Love that he won the WWE title. I'm very sorry to him that his reign was when it was during a pandemic. He did very well. I appreciate that he went to WrestleMania and didn't win. Now they're trying to find something for him to do, so he's not in the title picture all of the time. They're setting up stories for him. He's very good. They don't know what to do with him if he's not WWE champion. Check, done. Braun Strowman. If I were personally, if I were going to be on TV, I would not add to my wrestling gear a shirt that almost exclusively shows my nipples and immediately shows if I sweat. That is a little bit beside the point, but also not, because if I have to look at it, you guys have to hear about it. Also, Braun Strowman is a gigantic baby with a beard who Shane McMahon was right, is not that smart in terms of his character. He likes to yell his catchphrase, and he's very angry about everything, always. He runs into stuff without thinking about it. Also, I thought it was very funny that on the Chiron, when they make their entrance, the last fact about him is not that he's a former Universal Champion. It's that he's the 2018 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or I think it was Greatest Royal Rumble winner. I thought that was really, really funny. Check, done. That team's done. Mason, T-Bar. T-Bar's Dijakovic. T-Bar. Dijakovic is so much better than this. Those masks were dumb. That makeup under it was even dumber. They're almost doing like Shield-like promos. If the Shield were like darker and edgier and like didn't like their moms because they made them go to bed at like 9, but like forget her, dude. I know what I'm doing. I'm like an adult. While they smoke clove cigarettes behind the high school. And my wife said, not clove cigarettes, absolutely clove poser cigarettes. Yes, that's correct.
Guest appearance from the wife. Love it.
Yeah, of course. That's the makeup they had. He's really good in the ring. He's actually a good promo if you give him a chance to talk, and it's not whatever in the... I had to stop myself from swearing on this show because it's family friendly. That was. That's T-Bar. Check. Mace. Mace was an announcer, and he had a little thing with Brock Lesnar, went away to train, has a good look except for the mask and the Milli Vanilli poster cover looking makeup. Feels like these two could be really good, except they won't be because they're going to be Mace and T-Bar, a tag team, and they're going to start as monsters and have a title reign, and they're going to lose those titles, and then they're going to be in comedy segments for forever because, isn't it funny? Those two dudes are wearing makeup, and somebody's eventually going to say, "Hey, Dominic," and he's going to say, "It's T-Bar," and it's going to be like, the real fans are going to be like, "Oh no, that's terrible," and everybody's going to be else like, "That's not funny," and Vince isn't going to hear it because he's going to be laughing so hard into a pile of money. I understand this is Raw, but again, keeping with the format, again, Pat McAfee's really good on SmackDown. Boom, done.
Wow. That's a hell of a list.
Yeah, I thought so.
And I think that everybody can say in unison, I really would love to, and I'm being serious, I would love to talk to somebody that was a fan of Retribution. I mean, for real, like, I don't know if that person exists outside of whoever came up with the idea originally. It was just one of those ideas that they thought about in theory, it was on paper, and then they decided, well, we're not going to worry about anything beyond week one. We'll figure it out as the weeks go by. We just need to get the ratings up. We don't care how the story plays out. And that is, I don't want to hear it from anybody. That is exactly what it was between Retribution and Raw Underground, essentially debuting the same week last year. But anyway, that's beside the point. Retribution is one of the worst storylines I've ever seen in my life. That includes Katie Vick, okay? Like, that's how bad this was executed because of the logic behind it. So, that said, Katie Vick is still probably number one. Retribution is number two.
It is, but at the same time, both the dudes involved in that were world champions. So, like,
yeah, that's true. Kane and Triple H, yeah, and Triple H going to the funeral home, and oh god, with the mannequin. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, you're not around the kids, go check out Triple H in a funeral home. Just search Katie Vick. I mean,
headphones in on that video.
Yeah, headphones in. It's the Attitude Era. So, okay. Well, yeah, no, this whole thing, again, Braun Strowman is angry monster. Angry. You make me angry. Like, he's just so, the thing is, like you said with Shane McMahon, he is playing into what Shane McMahon said he is, because he's presented as just a one-dimensional character. Again, big dude, athletic, good look, but we don't see any range of character from this guy other than just me smash things. That's it. Seriously. And now they've added a locomotive sound, although I didn't hear it this week. Maybe they got the negative feedback when he goes around the ring and does his, running over people that apparently nobody can see coming. I'm glad they got rid of that. I'm not particularly a fan of Strowman being in the match at Backlash, but I understand why, because it's a way to protect Bobby Lashley as champion, because we all know Bobby Lashley is going to hopefully retain 100%. At Backlash, and that to me is how it should happen. Maybe him pinning Braun Strowman and keeping McIntyre out of the loop. So I think that's a smart move by WWE, because they didn't want to hurt either guy at at Backlash, and Braun Strowman is the perfect foil, where he's not going to be damaged. He'll just be an angry monster the next night, and life will go on. So I am all for Bobby Lashley as champion. Which, by the way, we're not really talking about Bobby Lashley as champion, which is weird. But what do you think about Lashley's champion thus far?
He's been very good. He's been very believable. You saw it coming when the Miz won as a transitional champion. The MVP is his, like, Brock Lesnar, and he's been good so far, and they've treated him very seriously, and I hope that continues, and I think it will.
Yeah, I think it will too. I like what I'm seeing thus far. Bobby Lashley at least taking the mic and trying to cut promos is good. I think Bobby Lashley's. I've seen bad promos from Bobby Lashley that are just. I mean, he's not known for his mic skills, but it seems like he's improving. He knows where his weaknesses are. We know why MVP's with him to pick up that slack, but it's not that he's standing there like Brock Lesnar did on a weekly or really monthly basis and just let Paul Heyman do the talking while he stands there and looks angry and mean.
Right.
Which is what Brock Lesnar did and got paid hundreds of thousands to do it.
Yes.
Bobby Lashley, I think I respect him and WWE for giving him the mic, giving him a chance to really fully polish his character and be a talking champion as well. So I'm a big fan of Bobby Lashley's champion. So yeah, on to the next topic, The Miz. You had some things to say.
All right, man. Listen. So The Miz has spent his time now with a feud with Bad Bunny because WWE thinks that that's going to help their business, and maybe it does. And he's doing songs in the ring with everybody, and he's just in joke segments and not taken seriously. And my wife does not know the history of The Miz, and just said, because I under my breath said he should be a bigger deal than he is, and she said why, and it occurred to me that The Miz is a guy that is such a fan of wrestling that in the early 2000s he was on a reality show and loved it so much that he came up with a wrestling character. I understand that's goofy and a little bit annoying, but still. And then he took it one step further. He didn't just talk about it. He got to the WWE. Not one fan and not one wrestler respected him at first, and frankly, they shouldn't have. But after years and years and years and years, he built up tenure there and respect. He's not anything special in the ring, but he's dependable. He doesn't get hurt. He's one of the best promos in WWE. He's had more moments than I can count where I've been left almost speechless by a promo. He's shown up John Cena in promos. He's held his own with The Rock. He's stomped Daniel Bryan into the ground. He's a 2-time WWE champion. He's a double-digit, probably time Intercontinental champion. He's a multiple-time tag team champion with different partners. When The Rock was coming back for that tag match in Survivor Series, The Miz is one of the people that he trusted with his first match back. My point in saying all this is that The Miz should not be a joke anymore. I understand he can do it and he's willing to, and get your money. I get it. And I understand he was a transitional champion and it was just to get that title on Bobby Lashley, and I'm fine with that. But The Miz has had a Hall of Fame career and is treated like a joke and an afterthought and like an idiot. And as somebody I cannot think of too many other former 2-time WWE champions that are like that. You could put The Miz in there with anybody, and if The Miz is on with promos, I don't care if it's Paul Heyman in his prime, he will at the very worst hold his own. And I do not understand why he's in there making songs about Bad Bunny. I don't understand. He's just better than that.
So The Miz, I've been rough on him. I've been rough on his character over the last several years. Deservedly so, but it's only been since they put Morrison back with him, and they were just suddenly... Yeah. They both got transported back into their 15-year-old bodies as sophomores in high school, where they're doing just bathroom humor jokes, inside jokes. I think it's, again, Vince McMahon's incessant need to have some kind of quote, and I say very, very big air quotes here, comedy relief in their shows. Why do they always have to meet that quota? Forced comedy in any genre is awful. It is exponentially worse in professional wrestling because these guys are not trained to do comedy. And I'm not a fan of Miz and Morrison as a team presented to me as entertainment. I think that they, again, as presently presented to me, I cannot stand their characters. I didn't like Bad Bunny. I didn't like Damien Priest. I didn't like that entire storyline, even with the fact that Bad Bunny outperformed every celebrity that has ever appeared ever in wrestling. Yep. I mean, I have given him, I've given him credit as many times as I possibly can that he absolutely kicked ass and put in work to do what he did at WrestleMania. But it doesn't change the fact that I couldn't stand his character, and I didn't like the storyline that all of a sudden we're supposed to cheer for this guy as an outsider. It made no sense to me.
Right.
But that aside, The Miz and Morrison need. I don't know what the end game is for these guys. I don't need a Miz TV every single Monday Night Raw or a dirt sheet. Tell me the difference. I don't know. There is none. I don't understand the need for that, where Morrison sits there and he plays off of Miz, and they're having a hee ha ha time.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's channel changing garbage. I don't want to hear it's heel heat. Oh, it makes you angry. No, it really makes me want to watch baseball. Makes me want to watch Netflix. Makes me I don't want to watch it. I do because I do the show. But that's not what you should be going for as a TV program to make your fans so turned off they want to change to another show. Mm-hmm. So all that said, I think The Miz as a career, all that crap I just said, I do think he's Hall of Fame worthy because 100%. He's stuck it out, which is weird to say. He stuck it out. Is there an evolution of The Miz that is, from 0 to 100 and he's been on a rocket ship since he came back or he debuted in WWE? No. I think, in fact, The Miz has taken a lot of steps back at times.
Yes.
And a lot of that happened when Morrison got involved and really, I think, took them both back to 2008, which is a bad place to be for both guys.
Yep.
Right now, The Miz is stuck. He's been stuck for a couple of years now, spinning his wheels, doing the same segments, being the butt of every joke. And Morrison, his act doesn't help. I don't know why they don't just split the team and Morrison could be doing, way better work on his own, being a serious character than just everything is a joke. So, I don't know. I hate to crap on these guys because I do it weekly because it's really just sometimes embarrassingly bad. Yeah. But, I think that The Miz is deserving of better because he does have a very good promo in the ring. And I remember that. Yeah, he went toe to toe with John Cena, which John Cena to me is probably maybe the best of all time wrestler wise on the mic. John Cena is so good. So good. And he was an afterthought when he faced The Rock or The Rock was he was the host of WrestleMania.
He was an afterthought to Cena and The Rock.
It was all about Rock and Cena. Miz was just there as a warm body. So, The Miz has never been the focal point. I don't ever have any evidence to believe that they will make him a focal point.
No, they won't. But he has had a Hall of Fame career. He made John Cena look like inferior on the mic, which does not happen
That's impossible, yeah.
Exactly. And he has had some of the realest moments in WWE. When they give him a chance to do that, he's one of the best sincerely of all time, and they're never going to give him a chance to do that, it seems, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
He's locked in. I think, unfortunately, The Miz, WWE has found his lot in life in wrestling, and I don't think that they are going to say, hey, let's try this or that. I believe that they've locked him in. So, okay, this is the last thing I have, and then I'll toss it to you. One word, Lily.
Man, listen, I don't have a lot on this. Alexa's, I guess, doing her own thing, and it's probably gonna be bad. Honestly, I don't even think we're gonna have that much to say on this for too long. It's just not great.
Wow. Okay. That was short and sweet. I'll take a little bit more of an optimistic approach, even though I don't like how they split from The Fiend. I didn't even know that was actually a turn on The Fiend, which that whole thing, whoever created, they must have been, I don't know, under the influence of some kind of narcotic to come up with that, because the turn apparently we were told it's a turn, even though if I didn't hear the commentary, I would have been like, that's not a turn. That's just her being, I don't know, summoning the power of The Fiend. And why is that? It made no sense. The one RKO, that whole thing at WrestleMania was just an absolute debacle. Yes. But I at least like this, that Alexa Bliss is getting her own story, and that she said she basically warned the female division that, put everyone on notice that I'm coming. And her doing her transformations during the matches, I guess, is going to be somewhat entertaining. You got to be careful with Hocus Pocus because it can get too hokey, it can get too unbelievable, and so forth. But I don't know. I'm giving it a little bit more of an optimistic approach than you are. I'm not out of this world about it, but I'm like, okay, I'm on board. Let's see where this goes. She hasn't done anything yet other than sit in her faux playground, which is in the middle of a ring that they've set up backstage. Other than that, again, there hasn't been actually any execution in the ring with any other female stars. So it's good to see Alexa actually get her own storyline. That's the one positive.
It is, yeah, and I am hopeful to see where it goes. I don't know. I don't trust him with it, I think, but I'll see where it goes.
Is the Fiend dead?
No, he's not dead. He's coming sometime. They just don't know what to do with him right now, so they're keeping him where he is for right now.
Purgatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have on my list. Did you have anything that we didn't? I know we didn't get to every little thing. It's
No,
but,
we didn't. And I don't think so. The stuff I got to. I think that's everything.
Cool. Well, Zach, it has been, as always, a pleasure to have you on the show. There would not be a show without you making me look like a fool in front of the. I mean, it's just how we continue to have the listeners come back because they want to see me get humiliated. I mean, that's
exactly, and that's what I provide, and I'm happy to provide it.
It's a free service, free of charge. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So, Zach, is there anything you want to share? Potentially, any social media, anything like that?
Yes, I do. So, as you said, I am the host of the NXT podcast here on the unofficial WWE podcast network. You can check me out every week here. Also, the host of Random Wrestling, which Matt was so gracious to help me set up and host. That had been on a bit of a hiatus as we moved over to Peacock, but it is back this week. Episode should be Wednesday at the latest. And you can check my Twitter if you want to see early what that is going to be. On Twitter, I am at ZachNXT. That's at ZACHNXT. So NXT Podcast, Random Wrestling this week, ZachNXT on Twitter. Other than that, that's it for me.
I love it. Guys, go check out the Random Wrestling. Get yourself subscribed because there right now there is one episode that you can get that is not on our feed. And yes, all the regular shows are there, but he will be doing exclusive shows that are not going to be here. So go over to Apple Podcasts, Google, wherever. It's all there. Search Random Wrestling, hit that subscribe button because then you'll get all the shows that you can't get here. So definitely do that. And somehow, again, I say this every time, but how he got that handle on Twitter is beyond me. So that's a good one. So
Thank you.
Zach, thank you so much. And we'll be doing this again, not in 8 or 10 months, but much sooner. So
yes, we need to do this very soon. Thank you very much for having me on again. I looked forward to talking to you very soon.
All right, Zach, have a good night.
All right, you too, buddy.
Thanks.